ABC 24 News This Morning starts now.
Pushing back. Right now at 6 a.m., the DOJ's findings from an investigation into MPD leaves the city on defense. Coming up, what the city said as both sides will address the public today. Plus, words written. New details about the murder of United Healthcare CEO are coming out. What was written on the bullets' shell casings? And score shocker. If your child is falling behind in math, they aren't alone. Why the rest of the nation is taking a closer look at math scores and how you can help your child get on track. Good morning, everyone. It is Thursday, December 5th. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Yvonne Cooper. Ruben Diaz and Trevor Burgett both have the rest of the week off, but I am still in good company. Meteorologist Corey Smith is joining us this morning again. Corey, it's been cold all week, but really this is just getting started.
Getting cold throughout the day. We're not going to get out of the 30s at the end of this afternoon, so you're going to need a coat if you are heading out. We've likely already hit our high temperature for today. Taking a look outside right now, you're going to see those clear conditions out there, and even with the sunshine that we see today, we are not going to get much help from that sun. Overall, a cold day on the way. 41 in Memphis right now, 42 in Holly Springs, 39 in Oxford and Forest City. And these are warmer than where we're going to be in just a couple of hours. A cold front working through right now. Our winds have already shifted out of the northwest, and that's going to continue to cool us off just a couple more degrees as you get into the afternoon. There is no rain in the area. We saw some light shower activity, especially south of I-40 yesterday. We're not expecting any clouds, let alone any rain for today. But look at these temperatures going forward. Around 36 degrees around 9 a.m. and around 35 degrees around 3 p.m. in the afternoon. That's setting the stage for one of the coldest mornings we've seen since this past January. We're back in the 20s tonight. We're going to talk about that and talk about a warm up on the way just in time for your weekend coming up in just a couple minutes.
Happening today, addressing the allegations and learning the facts. Both the Department of Justice and the City of Memphis will address the conduct of Memphis Police. The DOJ released its patterns and practices report. The city pushed back on the report and a request to enter a consent decree. ABC 24 was the first to report this Wednesday on the ABC 24 News app. This report comes after the investigation was launched following the death of Tyree Nichols in January of 2023. It said the police department acted unlawfully. Our Leah Williams will be at the news conference with the DOJ today, and she joins us now live with what the DOJ found.
Yeah, Yvonne, the Department of Justice is accusing the Memphis Police Department of violating the rights of people in the city of Memphis on a regular basis. That DOJ investigation, well, they said it found instances of discrimination, excessive use of force, and even troubling practices involving children. The DOJ said that discrimination was against Black people and people with behavioral health issues. The DOJ is also accusing MPD of conducting unlawful stops and unlawful searches and arrests. The city of Memphis argued that these findings were a rush to judgment. A man we talked to, though, who was stopped by Memphis police, shared his experience.
I was talking polite. It just was crazy to me because I don't know how it changed from us just talking to me. I mean, like fully yank, slam. It had me there for a while.
That comprehensive pattern or practice investigation was launched about 6 months after the death of Tyree Nichols. Again, this morning, the DOJ is hosting a news conference to talk about those findings. And of course, we'll have live coverage at 9 a.m. during that news conference and a recap at midday. Live in downtown Memphis, I'm Leah Williams.
Leah, thank you so much for staying on top of this big story today. The city of Memphis actually got ahead of the DOJ's announcement. Leaders put out a statement hours prior, and the city said it would not agree to a consent decree until it could review and challenge the DOJ's investigation. The city's letter essentially said that it received the DOJ's offer to negotiate a reform plan, and the city said it would work with partners within the city, national police reform experts, and the DOJ to produce that plan. The DOJ investigation began, as Leah mentioned, 6 months after the death of Tyree Nichols. The young father died days after he was beaten during a traffic stop with Memphis police. These 5 former MPD officers were all charged in this case. The video of the beating and attack was released on January 27th of 2023. In March, City Council passed several police reforms, including an annual review of police training techniques requiring only marked police cars can conduct traffic stops and requiring more police data collection. The DOJ launched its investigation into the city of Memphis and MPD on July 27th. Desmond Mills Jr. was the first to plead guilty to federal charges in November of last year, and Emmett Martin III pleaded guilty in August. The federal trial started on September 9th. In the trial, jurors reached a mixed verdict for the other 3 men. All 5 will be sentenced in the coming months, and the state murder trial is set for April of 2025. ABC 24 will have crews across the city covering this huge story today, so be sure to go ahead and stay in the know by downloading our free ABC 24 News app. We will bring you live coverage from both of those news conferences. Just text the word app, that's APP, to 901-321-7520 to get a link to download our app today. Happening today, the owners of Serenity Towers in the city of Memphis will be back in court. Both sides will discuss the next steps for this troubled apartment complex, including a massive unpaid utility bill. That bill was due Wednesday, but because of the super cold temperatures we've been having this week, MLGW decided to keep the power on. New this morning, police in New York said bullets found at the murder scene of the United Healthcare CEO had words written on them. We're talking about the shell casings of those bullets. They had deny, defend, and depose on them. At this time, police do not believe that the shooter was a hitman, but detectives said Brian Thompson was shot several times at close range outside of the Hilton Hotel.
I want to be clear. At this time, every indication is that this was a premeditated, pre-planned, targeted attack.
Detectives are currently running tests to see if there are any fingerprints or DNA on the items that the shooter left behind. New details this morning in the fight over bail. Shelby County DA Steve Mulroy defended judges on claims that the bail system is too lenient. Despite that, Mulroy said that he doesn't agree with some of their recent decisions. His office is trying to do more to address that issue.
A cold start to your day here across the Mid-South. Clear skies on our camera here at Cordova. Expect plenty of sunshine today, but that's not going to help us too much. We are talking chilly temperatures. We're seeing in the low 40s for a lot of us right now. 41 in Memphis, 41 in Truman, 42 in Bolivar, and 43 in Corinth. But we're going to be back into the 30s as we go on into the afternoon. I want to show you the water vapor imagery. Notice this moisture down to the south along the Gulf Coast. We have this dry, cold air mass moving into the Mid-South right now. And that is going to set the stage not only for a cold day today, but some of the coldest weather we have seen since last January move into the viewing area as we get into your Friday morning. We're talking temperatures potentially in the low 20s. But before we get there, let's take a look at things as we go throughout the rest of today. Like I said, the 40s right now, that's going to be warmer than where we are in a couple hours. Around 10 a.m., around 36 degrees, around 36 to 35 as we get into the afternoon with plenty of sunshine. But notice towards the end of this graphic here, we're talking temperatures in the 20s and potentially around 20 to 23 degrees in many places here across the Mid-South. We're going to break down that forecast and talk about some warmer weather coming up on the way. So make sure to stay tuned for that.
News right now, the Supreme Court heard arguments about Tennessee's law banning gender-affirming care for minors. Opponents said that the law discriminates on the basis of sex who can receive certain medical treatments. The liberal justices expressed concern that limiting this kind of care could cause harm. A ruling from the court is expected next June. Looking ahead, MSCS Superintendent Dr. Marie Fagans will speak to the public at 5 at the Museum of Science and History on Central Avenue. It's an opportunity to hear directly from Dr. Fagans about some important developments in our schools. Memphis Shelby County Schools will also host a hiring event today from 3 until 6 at the Teacher Learning Academy on Union Avenue. They're looking for ESL and pre-K teachers and children's specialists. Be sure if you're looking for a job and you head out there, bring your resume, some transcripts, and any other certifications that you have. Looking ahead, the St. Jude Marathon weekend kicks off today with a press conference at the Renaissance Convention Center. Leaders will talk all about the race and the critical fundraising mission for St. Jude. Time now is 6:10. Score shocker. Your child might be behind in math. Experts blame COVID and soaring absentee rates. Coming up, how you can help your child succeed. Plus, fake fear. One Mid-South county issued a warning about a viral social media post that may make you scared to go outside. What they said at 6:46. And junk fees. Airlines had a turbulent hearing on Capitol Hill, while lawmakers are grilling airline executives about travelers' frustrations. Plus, buying a home. If you have student loans, you may have to wait longer to become a homeowner. Find out just how long you'll have to wait based on where you live at 6:23. ABC 24 is hosting a year-end Let's Talk community listening session, and this month's focus is all on Memphis and the Mid-South. Let's Talk 24 is Thursday, December 12th from 5:30 p.m. until 7:30. Join us at Benjamin L. Hook Central Library, located at 3030 Poplar Avenue. To register, just scan that QR code on your screen or visit abc24.com for the link. Come and share your concerns, but also your hopes for this community. We will restart our community visits in January of 2025, and we're coming to a community near you soon.
Well, good morning. We're taking a look at Cordova and clear skies, but it is going to be cold out there. We're going to talk more about that, but let's head over to Yvonne with your top stories.
First up on your Thursday morning, the Department of Justice released its findings after investigating the city of Memphis and the Memphis Police Department for the past year and a half. The DOJ report accused MPD of unlawful, discriminatory policing. The city of Memphis said that it would not agree to a consent decree until it could review and challenge the DOJ's investigation. The DOJ and the city will hold news conferences this morning. Your second top story. The owners of Serenity Towers and the city of Memphis will be back in court today. Both sides will discuss next steps for the troubled apartment complex, including a massive unpaid utility bill. And your third top story. MSCS has a busy day today. Superintendent Dr. Marie Fagans will speak to the public at 5 at the Museum of Science and History on Central Avenue. The district will also host a job fair from 3 to 6 at the Teacher and Learning Academy on Union Avenue. Parents, here's a heads up. You may want to check your child's math scores. Experts said that the latest test scores found 4th and 8th graders are falling behind. ABC's Andrea Fujii is seeking solutions with ways to help your children soar.
New evidence this morning that American children are falling behind in math, in some cases way behind.
The results are sobering.
Scores from the test called Trends in International Mathematics and Science Study found from between 2019 and 2023, American 4th graders dropped 18 points in math. 8th graders dropped 27 points.
We started this assessment in 1995, so we have erased the gains that we were seeing for decades.
Globally, the U.S. scoring only mid-pack, easily surpassed by countries in Asia and Europe. Experts point to many reasons, including COVID, when education was disrupted in the U.S. for longer than many other countries.
This decline that we're seeing was there in 2015. So all of this cannot be blamed on COVID. We have been struggling with this declining scores, particularly in math, for a while.
Experts say too many kids are missing class. About 17% are described as often absent.
We need to focus on the students that have been struggling for a while now. And that is where I want to leave it for us as a country to sort of ponder.
Another possible concern? Boys perform better than girls in both math and science, reopening a gender gap that had previously closed. Andrea Fujii, ABC News, New York.
School system needs more high school math teachers. A report says that there aren't enough people applying for those open positions.
It's going to be a pretty cold day outside here in the Mid-South. So if you are heading out the door this morning. Make sure you have that winter coat with you. Roads are moving pretty smoothly. Weather is really not going to get too much in the way there, but we are expecting cold temperatures, even with plenty of sunshine, struggling to be in the middle 30s throughout the rest of the afternoon. And we're going to be in the 20s as we start off your Friday morning before some weekend rain arrives. So let's talk about what's going on. We'll start off with current temperatures right now: 36 in Dyersburg, 41 in Memphis, 40 in Tunica, and 39 in Oxford. We were in the middle 40s to start off today right around midnight. That was probably our high temperature for today, and we will be colder as we go throughout the rest of today. So looking ahead, a cold front is moving through right now, and as it does so, our temperatures will begin to drop as you go through the rest of your Thursday. It's going to be breezy. It's going to make it feel even colder than it actually is, and that sets up the stage for some pretty cold weather for your Friday morning. We do start a warming trend heading into the weekend as high pressure builds off to the east and our winds direct out of the south. So there is some good news. It's a pretty short-lived cold spell, but we are watching for the chance of maybe some rain as we get towards the end of the weekend, Sunday and into early Monday. The chance of maybe some rain as another cold front moves through the area. We're looking at cooler conditions behind that as we go in the middle of next week, but nothing like what we're seeing today and into tomorrow. So definitely going to want to bundle up if you are heading out, because look at these temperatures: around 38 degrees around 7 a.m., 36 around 10 a.m., around 36 with plenty of sunshine around 1 o'clock. Let's walk you through hour by hour what we can expect as we go throughout the rest of today and into tomorrow. Temperatures trending downward. So this is 11 a.m. We're in the low 30s, a lot of us, and that wind making it feel even colder than it actually is. Maybe getting up to the mid 30s around the afternoon, around 2 to 3 p.m., and then temperatures really start to drop as we head into the overnight hours. We're talking low 20s here in Memphis, maybe even some teens, especially to the north and east of the city. I think we could squeak out some upper teens to start off your Friday morning. So some of the coldest weather we have seen in quite some time. Now, we talked about that breeze. It's going to make it feel even colder if you are out today, feeling like we're in the mid to upper 20s. So definitely cold weather, very cold for this time of the year. High of around 36 this afternoon. We're down to 22 to start off your Friday morning, up to 41 in the afternoon. And then as we head into the weekend, looks like a cold start for the St. Jude Marathon before rain moves in as it goes Sunday and into Monday.
New this morning, new data found a significant chunk of drugstores in the U.S. have gone out of business in the last decade. About 30% of stores closed by 2021. Researchers found Latino and Black neighborhoods were the most at risk. Drugstores with a higher number of patients on Medicare and Medicaid also had a higher chance of closure. Access to medication is vital for many low-income Tennesseans. The clinics that serve them are concerned about potential cuts the program that helps with drug costs. The Tennessee Primary Care Association said that these savings are crucial.
The 340B program allows health center patients to receive the care they need to attain their highest level of health. It ensures that all patients can receive the life-saving medications they need to manage chronic conditions like diabetes or high cholesterol.
Health centers are required to reinvest the savings from the program back into patient care, which should help. Time now is 6:21. Owner information. Coming up, changes are coming to what small businesses have to report to the government. And most visited pages. You may or may not be shocked by the Wikipedia pages that people are visiting. That story and more when we come back. You're taking a live look outside at I-40 at Riverside Drive. Before you head up and out the door this morning, grab a coat, maybe some gloves, your boots. You need it all because this is as warm, quote unquote, as we're going to get. Let's turn now to this. A new study showed how long it would take someone in each state to save for a 20% down payment with student loan debt. It would take Tennesseans an average of 28 years. Depending on how much they save at a time, it would take 9 to 26 years to save without student loans. It's not as bad for people in Mississippi and in Arkansas. It'll take them an average of 14 years to save with loans and as little as 4 years without loans. Corey, it looks like we've got some work to do.
I think so. I got student loans. I'll say
I do too.
They're just there. They're just chilling there.
I know.
They'll get paid off.
I've been running away from Sallie Mae for as long as I can.
Just put them on the block real quick.
No, right? Let's turn now to this. Wikipedia released its most visited pages of the year, and politics dominated. Kamala Harris, Donald Trump, and the presidential election were all in the top 10. The Menendez brothers came back into pop culture spotlight after a popular Netflix miniseries, and they ranked number 4. Other popular pages were Taylor Swift, ChatGPT, and the movie Deadpool and Wolverine. Any surprises there for you, Corey?
I don't get searching a movie because someone's just go there to like spoil the plot.
Yeah,
that's just people are like, yeah, I don't want to watch it.
You know, Corey, I do that.
Oh
if the
my
movie
gosh.
is suspenseful and I'm with my husband and I'm kind of freaked out, I'm like, nah, I need to see how this
like,
ends.
do I need to be scared about what's about to happen?
Exactly.
But yeah, Wikipedia is great. I'm
is
on there all the time.
A great resource. And speaking of movies, maybe a good day to stay inside if you can and watch a movie. It's so cold.
For sure. It's going to be definitely on the cold side today. Let's take a look at those afternoon temperatures. 36 degrees around midday. We're talking 35 around 2 p.m. and sitting around 4 o'clock is still in the mid-30s. So cold, and it's going to get even colder from there. Taking a look at things as you get a little bit later on in the forecast here, you're going to see overall we're talking 22 degrees to start off your Friday morning. Coldest start since January 21st. We're up to 41 in the afternoon. And then after that, we do start a slow warming trend. We're talking maybe some 50s into the weekend with some rain Sunday and into Monday.
Time now is 6:26. Learning the facts. Coming up, the city of Memphis is pushing back against the DOJ's findings from its investigation into the Memphis Police Department. Find out what Memphis is saying later after 6:30. And police said the bullet casings in the murder of the United Healthcare CEO gave them some clues. We'll take a closer look at that story when we come back. Corey, it's sad. The 60s. I'm looking forward to it, though.
They're looking nice, though. So we got to get to Monday. So
yeah, that's true.
Good indoor weather.
ABC 24 News This Morning starts now.
Addressing allegations. As we approach 6:30, the city of Memphis will discuss the DOJ's findings into the Memphis Police Department, what both sides have to say coming up. And back in court, The owners of Serenity Towers will stand before a judge again. Why a massive bill is the main topic this time. And some major airlines are back in the hot seat again. Find out how a bipartisan plan is cracking down on those extra charges. Good morning. It is Thursday, December 5th. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Yvonne Cooper alongside meteorologist Corey Smith. Ruben Diaz and Trevor Burchett both have the week off. But hey, I kind of wish I was like them and maybe sleeping in this morning. It's so cold out there.
If I was in my bed right now, I don't think you could get me out.
I know that's right.
It's one of those kind of mornings. It's going to be cold out there. Let's talk about what you can expect as you head out the door. This is the coldest weather that we are expecting since January of this year. So it's been a while, very winter-like as you head out the door. And you can see clear skies. We're going to see sunshine today, but that's not going to help us too much at all. Looking at the forecast, it's going to be rather chilly. So we're sitting in the 40s, some of us 41 in Memphis, 42 in Bolivar. We're at 38 in Tunica, 39 in Forest City. Temperatures are going to decrease, actually, as we head into the afternoon, likely stuck in the mid-30s. Winds are not too gusty right now, but we have seen a wind shift out of the north and west as a cold front does start to move in. And we're not expecting any rain for today, no clouds either. It's a little bit of a change from some of those showers that we saw yesterday. Take a look at the temperatures today, though. Cold, you're going to need that jacket and the coat if you are heading out. 36 degrees around noon. We're sticking around there through the rest of the afternoon, and even colder weather on the way for your Friday morning. We're talking 20s on the way. We'll have the details in just a couple minutes, but let's take a look at traffic first. Talk about what you can expect there. Not too much of an issue on the roads this morning. We're not tracking any major slowdowns, so I think everything moving pretty smoothly there. Drive times look to be pretty typical for this time of the day. Around a 7-minute drive if you're heading from Memphis to downtown.
Happening today, addressing the allegations and learning the facts. Both the Department of Justice and the City of Memphis will address the conduct of Memphis Police. The DOJ released its patterns or practice report, and the city pushed back on that report and a request to enter a consent decree. ABC 24 was the first to report this Wednesday on our ABC 24 News app. This report comes after the investigation was launched following the death of Tyree Nichols in January of 2023. It said the police department acted unlawfully. Our Leah Williams will be at the news conference with the DOJ today, and she joins us live with what the DOJ found. Leah.
Yvonne, the Department of Justice is accusing the Memphis Police Department of regularly violating the rights of the people in the city of Memphis. The DOJ said in that investigation, they found instances of discrimination, excessive use of force, and even what they called troubling practices involving kids. The DOJ said that discrimination was against Black people and people with behavioral health issues. The DOJ is also accusing MPD of conducting unlawful stops and unlawful searches and arrests. The city of Memphis argued that these findings were a rush to judgment. That comprehensive pattern or practice investigation was launched about 6 months after the death of Tyree Nichols. And this morning at 9 a.m., we'll have live coverage of the DOJ's news conference about these findings. And of course, at midday, we'll have a recap for you. Live in downtown Memphis, I'm Leah Williams.
Leah, thank you so much. A lot to talk about today. The city of Memphis actually got ahead of the DOJ's announcement. Leaders put out a statement hours prior, and the city said it would not agree to a consent decree until it could review and challenge the DOJ's investigation. The city's letter essentially said that it received the DOJ's offer to negotiate a reform plan, and the city said that it will work with partners within the city, national police reform experts, and the DOJ to produce that plan. The DOJ investigation began about 6 months after the death of Tyree Nichols back in January 2023. The young father died days after he was beaten during a traffic stop with Memphis Police. These 5 ex-MPD officers were all charged in this case. The video of the beating and attack was released on January 27th of 2023. In March, City Council passed several police reforms, including an annual review of police training techniques, requiring only marked police cars can conduct traffic stops and requiring more police data collection. The DOJ launched its investigation into the city of Memphis and the Memphis Police Department on July 27th. Desmond Mills Jr. was the first to plead guilty to federal charges in November of last year. Then Emmett Martin III pleaded guilty in August. The federal trial started on September 9th, and in the trial, jurors reached a mixed verdict for the other 3 men. All 5 will be sentenced in the coming months, and the state murder trial is set for April of 2025. ABC 24 will have crews across the city covering this big developing story today. So be sure to download our free ABC 24 News app, where we will bring you live coverage from both news conferences. Just text the word app, that's APP, to 901-321-7520 to get a link to download it today. Happening today, the owners of Serenity Towers and the city of Memphis will be back in court. Both sides will discuss what's next for the troubled apartment complex, including a massive unpaid utility bill. That bill was due Wednesday, but because of the freezing cold temperatures we've been having this week, MLGW will keep the power on. Looking ahead, MSCS Superintendent Dr. Marie Fagans will speak to the public today at 5 at the Museum of Science and History on Central Avenue. It's an opportunity to hear directly from Dr. Fagans about some important developments in our schools. Memphis Shelby County Schools will also host a hiring event today from 3 until 6 at the Teaching and Learning Academy on Union Avenue. They're looking for ESL and pre-K teachers and also children's specialists. So be sure to bring your updated resume, your transcripts, and any other certifications if you're looking for a job. Looking ahead, the St. Jude Marathon kicks off today, marathon weekend that is, with a press conference at the Renaissance Convention Center. Leaders will talk all about the race this weekend and the critical fundraising mission for St. Jude.
And I will say, for that marathon, looking pretty cold on Saturday morning, but we're cold right now as you head out the door. We're talking clear skies currently. Sunshine's not going to help us very much, though. In fact, temperatures are going to decrease as we go throughout the rest of today. We're sitting at 41 currently in Memphis, 36 in Dyersburg, 42 in Bolivar, 38 in Tunica, and 39 in Oxford. We'll be probably in the mid-30s for a lot of us as we get into the afternoon. So for the kids heading off to school, make sure that they are dressed for the cold weather, 38 degrees as they're stepping out. And as you go throughout the day, you can see temperatures really not moving too much. We're staying in the 30s. That's some very cold weather as you start off your Friday morning. Take a look at the water vapor imagery. You can see that dry air that has moved in. A cold front is pushing through the area, and our temperatures are going to really drop as we head into tonight and tomorrow morning. And you can see for today, we're not moving too much. We're stuck in the 30s, around 36 to 35 degrees in the afternoon. That's with sunshine, and we're starting to get into the 20s as early as 7 p.m., waking up to some of the coldest weather we've seen since this past January. We're going to talk about that, but also that weekend forecast. There does look to be at least somewhat of a warm-up on the way. We'll have details on that in just a couple minutes.
Time now is 6:38. Fake post. Coming up, a warning about a viral social media post that could make you fear for your safety. We break it all down at 6:46. Plus, new video as day 4 looms in the trial of the suspect in the murder of Jimmy J. Lee. We share what the jurors saw. And fee fight. Executives from 5 of America's major airlines were grilled by senators on Capitol Hill. The airline prices on the line after this break. ABC 24's Bundles of Care is dedicated to helping people in need during the winter months. We need your help to stuff the van on December 11th to help 2 Mid-South charities. Your donation will benefit women, children, and men dealing with homelessness, and also the elderly. You can donate new items like blankets, socks, gloves, and toiletries. ABC 24's team will be at the shops of Saddle Creek accepting donations near C Eyewear Shop. We'll have Christmas carols from Cordova High School's choir and special giveaways from the Memphis Showboats football team for all of those who donate. Deliver your bundles of care next Wednesday, December 11th from 7 until 7.
Well, the time right now is 6:41. We're taking a look at the I-24 flyover and some cold weather on the way for your Thursday. We'll have more on that, but let's head over to Yvonne with the latest.
New at 6:30, airline executives were in the hot seat for what senators are calling junk fees for flights. A Senate subcommittee expressed frustrations over extra charges for things like choosing seats and checking bags. They said there's a lack of transparency about the vague pricing, making it hard for customers to budget. Time now is 6:41. Bail battle. Coming up, DA Steve Mulroy is defending judges and trying to make a change. What steps he's taking to help fix the bail system. And math struggles. A new shocking report shows kids across the nation are struggling with math. What experts think is causing test scores to drop after this break.
We're taking a look at I-40 and Sam Cooper this morning. A cold start today. And we're going to have that full forecast coming up in just a couple of minutes, but let's head over to Yvonne first.
Let's turn to your top stories this Thursday morning. Up first, the Department of Justice released its findings after investigating the city of Memphis and the Memphis Police Department for the last year and a half. The DOJ report accused MPD of unlawful discriminatory policing. The city of Memphis said that it would not agree to a consent decree until it could review and challenge the DOJ's investigation. The DOJ and the city will host news conferences this morning. Your second top story, the owners of Serenity Towers and the city of Memphis will be back in court today. Both sides will discuss next steps for the troubled apartment complex, including a massive unpaid utility bill. And your third top story, MSDS has a busy day today. Superintendent Dr. Marie Fakins will speak to the public at 5 at the Museum of Science and History on Central Avenue. The district will also host a job fair from 3 until 6 at the Teacher and Learning Academy on Union Avenue. New details this morning in the fight over bail. Shelby County DA Steve Mulroy defended judges on claims that the bail system is too lenient. Despite that, Mulroy said that he doesn't agree with some of their recent decisions, and his office is trying to do more to address it. New this morning, the Tipton County Sheriff is warning residents about a false viral social media post claiming that a serial killer is on the loose. The post about a man named Robert the Bodo randomly attacking people is false. This is not true. He is urging people not to spread this misinformation and to only trust official law enforcement communications. New this morning, police in New York said that bullet shell casings found at the murder scene of the United Healthcare CEO had words written on them. The shell casings had deny, defend, and depose written on them. At this time, police do not believe that the shooter was a hitman. Detectives say that Brian Thompson was shot several times at close range outside of the Hilton Hotel.
I want to be clear. At this time, every indication is that this was a premeditated, pre-planned, targeted attack.
Detectives are currently running tests to see if there are any fingerprints or DNA on the items that the shooter left behind.
It's going to be a chilly day here across the Mid-South. If you are heading out this morning, make sure you have the coat because we're going to be stuck in the 30s, even with some sunshine. Looks to be pretty cold as you go throughout today. Even colder as you get into tomorrow morning. We're talking 20s in the forecast before some rain does start to move into the area this weekend. We're sitting at 41 in Memphis, 37 in Tunica, 39 in Forest City, 43 in Clarksdale, and 36 in Dyersburg. Temperatures are going to trend downward actually as you head into the afternoon. So what's going on? A cold front moving through the area today. And that's going to bring some breezy conditions, too, on top of that cold weather a little bit later on in the afternoon. High pressure settles in, and that sets the stage for some pretty cold weather for your Friday as well. But we do start to warm up a little bit on your Saturday. As this high moves off to the east, our winds direct out of the south. So we do become a little bit more mild, and that's ahead of our next rain chances to go late Sunday and into Monday. Looks like at least a cold front bringing the chance of some scattered to even widespread rain across the viewing area. Cooler air behind that, but nothing too cold. So for today, you're going to make sure to bundle up. 38 degrees around 7 a.m. Around 10 a.m., we're staying at 36, and we're staying around there for the rest of the day. Just downright cold, especially for this time of the year. Hour by hour, what you can expect, like we said, things not changing too much, although the winds will pick up a little bit here as we get throughout the next couple hours, and that means it's going to feel like we're in the 20s as we go throughout the day, and we're actually going to get into the 20s. This is 10 p.m. tonight, in the mid-20s for most of us, low 20s when you're waking up on your Friday morning, and I would not be too shocked, especially north and east of Memphis, if you see maybe some teens to start off your Friday. We will We'll be back into the upper 30s in the afternoon, though, so still on the colder side to end out the week. Wind chill is going to feel like we're in the mid-20s with that wind and that cold weather here in place, so make sure that you are dressing appropriately. And as you get into the afternoon, it looks like things are staying a little bit on the cold side. So 36 degrees is going to be your temperature right around 3 to 4 p.m. We're at 22 to start your Friday morning, up to 41 in the afternoon, 51 on your Saturday. Rain does start to move in as it goes Sunday and into Monday. We're up to 66, looking pretty warm on your Monday, but then some cooler air does move back in as we head into the middle of next week. Let's take a look at traffic, what you can expect there as you head out the door this morning. No major issues to talk about on the road, so if you are going out, just give yourself the normal amount of time that you have there. If we take a look at those drive times, currently looking pretty typical for this time of the morning, moving right around 68 miles per hour if you're going from West Memphis to downtown. Hernando to I-240, about a 15-minute commute, and looking pretty smooth on 385 as well. Of course, if any of this changes, we'll let you know throughout the rest of the morning.
New this morning, American students are falling behind in math. Recent test scores show significant drops for 4th and 8th graders since 2019. It revealed U.S. 4th graders dropped 18 points in math, while 8th graders fell 27 points. Experts blame some of this on COVID-19 disruptions and chronic absenteeism.
This decline that we're seeing was there in 2015. So all of this cannot be blamed on COVID.
The decline erases decades of progress, placing the U.S. only mid-pack globally in math performance. The deadline for reporting ownership information under the Corporate Transparency Act has been suspended nationwide. A federal court in Texas issued an injunction ruling the act is likely unconstitutional. This law was designed to combat financial crimes by requiring corporations and LLCs to disclose their beneficial owners. News right now, the Supreme Court heard arguments about Tennessee's law banning gender-affirming care for minors. Opponents say that the law discriminates on the basis of sex who can receive certain medical treatments. The liberal justices expressed concern that limiting this kind of care could cause harm. A ruling from the court is expected next June. Happening today, the trial of a man accused of killing Ole Miss student Jimmy J. Lee will enter day 4. Wednesday, jurors were shown clips of Lee leaving his own apartment shortly after 4 in the morning on July 8th of 2022. He hasn't been seen since, and his body has never been found. Last month, a Lafayette County judge officially declared Lee dead. Sheldon Harrington Jr. faces a capital murder charge for Lee's death. He was arrested 2 weeks after Lee's disappearance. Police say they have cell phone records showing Lee and Harrington communicated with each other the day that Lee went missing.
This morning, the city of Memphis and the Department of Justice will address the conduct of the Memphis Police Department. This comes after findings from a DOJ investigation that is accusing the Memphis Police Department of using unlawful, discriminatory practices and even troubling practices. How this investigation was launched about 6 months after the death of Tyree Nichols. The city pushed back on the report and a request to enter into a consent decree. We'll have the live coverage of both news conferences starting at 9 a.m.
The owners of Serenity Towers in the city of Memphis will be back in court today. Both sides will discuss next steps for the troubled apartment complex, including a massive unpaid utility bill. Memphis Shelby County Schools will host a hiring event today from 3 until 6 at the Teaching and Learning Academy on Union Avenue. They're looking for ESL and pre-K teachers, but also children's specialists. Be sure to bring your updated resume, transcripts, and any other certifications if you're looking for a job. The St. Jude Marathon weekend kicks off today with a press conference at the Renaissance Convention Center. Leaders will talk all about the race this weekend and the critical fundraising mission for St. Jude. Several streets in the downtown area will be closed for the race starting this weekend. Whitehaven needs your help to make sure that children have coats this winter. Today is the last day that you can drop off coats at Whitehaven Branch Library. They're accepting all coats of all sizes with winter beanies and gloves.
And let's take another look at the weather for today. We're talking cold weather. Especially for this time of the year, we're stuck in the mid-30s in the afternoon. That's even with sunshine, so that's not really helping us too much. We're around 36 to 35 degrees around noon through about 4 p.m. And then we start to drop off. We're going into the 20s as we head into tomorrow. Let's take a look at your 7-day forecast going forward. Around 36 degrees is going to be where we're getting around in our afternoon highs. Then we're down to 22 to start off your Friday morning. That's going to be the coldest weather we've seen since last January, only up to 41 in the afternoon. And for the St. Jude Marathon, we are right around 28 degrees to start off day. So definitely a cold start for those runners out there. A little bit warmer in the afternoon in the 50s, and we're seeing some rain Sunday and into Monday. Warmer, looking pretty good. Monday, 66 degrees right there. We do cool off a little bit towards the middle of the week. Let's take a look at traffic, what you can expect. It looks like right now things are moving pretty smoothly. We're not having any major issues on the roadways right now, and it looks like overall things should be pretty good there. Drive times look to be normal as well. Around an 8-minute commute if you're heading from West Memphis to downtown. Collierville to I-240, around 11-minute drive. So looking pretty good, Yvonne. I will say, shock to the system, those temperatures that we're seeing.
I know.
It's tough.
It's insane, almost really, because we're still, 15 days away from the first day of winter officially.
That's right. And the morning low tomorrow is going to be the coldest. Remember that week where we like didn't get out of freezing in January?
Oh, yes.
So it's been that long since we've been that cold. So
oh gosh, we got to bundle
up.
A
little bit rough out there, but I will say the weekend does look better, back in the 50s, a little bit closer to normal. But for those runners on Saturday, good thing they're running. They're
exactly.
going to feel
They may like
nice
that.
and warm. I know,
Yes.
because it's going to be definitely in the upper 20s, I think, for that.
Okay, very good. That's the silver lining in
Yes.
all of this. All right, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Good Morning America is next, and we'll see you back at around 7:23. Have a great day, everyone.
Continue with us and watch free now on the 24 Plus app everywhere you stream.